What's up, sassy gamers? Today is, what is today? Oh yeah, St. Patty's Day, March 17th, 2022. And this is Season 2, Episode 40 of Got Our Attention Podcast. Welcome, we have Brian, Bruno, and Kelly with us, as usual. Welcome.
I always used to like it when you'd pause and let us talk so people that are new to the stream that our wonderful listeners would be able to equate a voice with a name.
Yeah,
they'll figure it out.
I'm Bruno.
Him guessing.
Yeah.
I'm Brian.
I'm Bruno.
No, wait. I'm Kelly.
Much better.
Yeah, it's pretty much. So, I feel like I'm frozen. I think we're all frozen.
Yeah,
Except,
I know. I already just fixed it.
Fantastic. So, I don't know about you guys, but, well, I know Kelly a little bit. We kind of entertained ourselves today with St. Patty's Day.
Oh, yes, we
Decided
did.
to, go to the local pub and have a pint. It was one pint led into a few other pints, and
which led into shots.
Which led into car bombs and other stuff. And it was a great time. And went home, took a nap, and here we are.
I love a good day nap after day drinking.
Great.
Oh,
it was so good.
It's
Best
the best.
Yeah. My day was pretty much the same. I woke up and I made myself a drink, and it was coffee though, not anything with alcohol in it. And then I sat at my desk for essentially 11 hours straight.
Yep.
And then here I am. So
Same
pretty much identical, right?
No.
Basically.
Except that as we were sitting at our desks and working, we kept getting these pictures popping up of people partying.
Yeah. We did shots.
See.
Yeah.
Screenshots.
Yeah. Lots of screenshots. Exactly. It's
It
practically
was
the same
a
thing.
good time.
It has the same
Yeah.
effect at the end of the day. You end up with some kind of a headache. So,
Yeah. I'm headache free right now. So,
you did not take enough shots.
no, I didn't. I cut myself off because I had adult things I had to take care of.
Lots of water. I had to drink lots of water.
If I was there, I wouldn't have drank anyways, because I won't drink around Zycy ever again.
Oh, good. We were actually at that same place we drank last time. So
Yes.
No, it's like
place,
it's like a rule I've set for myself now, because I get way too drunk around him. It's bad.
I don't know what you're
Like the
talking
last
about.
time, Savannah, the next day was like,
man.
I was actually worried you were going to die. She's like, you were literally just laying in bed, like vomiting on yourself. And I was like, oh, good. Sick.
At one
was like,
point, a
why
shoe
not
came
good?
out.
Oh, man.
That
It's a good
explains all
time.
my GI issues.
Yes. That's where
usually
it
a
all
good time.
started. Yeah.
That's where it all began.
And they
I
did
don't know how to
ask
tell
you
this
if you had
much,
had recent trauma of one type or another. And believe me, drinking around Mike can be trauma
It
for
is
most
traumatic
people.
in more ways than one.
What I don't like, what's really annoying about these glasses that I'm wearing is that there's no frame, or there's the frame is there's no lens. So I feel like I should have protection, like light protection.
But you
yet
don't.
I keep squinting with these on.
But
It's
now there's
really
this
weird.
ring light in your face, and
Yeah.
Well, and I had to itch my eye, and I was like, I can just go like this.
For those of you listening, we actually have like these funky looking like
Yeah.
St. Patty's Day
glasses that
themed
we
glasses
got
on.
from
If by
the
funky you mean
bars that we're at.
amazing,
They're
you
pretty
are
awesome.
correct. Yeah. They do
Also, something other awesome, which I want to mention, is we do have a charity event right now up for Ukraine. So if you wanted to help Ukraine in the chat, if you're watching live, you can actually do !donate, which will give you the link to the actual campaign on Tiltify, where you can donate money to help those in need right now during the Ukraine war that was brought to them by Russia. Brought to you by Russia. So if you want to help out, feel free to do that. And that's pretty much all I have for now. But I think we can check out Kelly's Corner. I think there's probably some stuff in there.
Yeah, there's a couple things. Well, welcome to the corner. I do have two things. The sad one, I think I'll leave for the end. The first one isn't necessarily a news article, but more a question that's going viral on TikTok, and I wanted to get your opinions. If you haven't heard, all over TikTok, people are answering the question, are there more doors or more wheels in the world.
Oh God.
And you may like have a gut instinct and you're like, oh, it's doors. And then you start thinking, oh, well, what's considered a door? And then wheels. Oh, well, are casters considered wheels? So I want your opinions. I want to hear the
Wheels.
brain busting that happens as you're, working your way through this question.
100% wheels.
And why?
Agreed. Because just even in the car sense, cars have doors, but they also always have 4 wheels, unless it's a motorcycle. They have 2 wheels and no door. So right there already, we have more wheels than doors.
So true, but like my chair has wheels on it. So those are 5 more wheels. But
no
also
door.
like if you think of apartments, like the room that I'm in right now has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What I would consider doors. Like, well, of course I would consider that I can actually walk
7
through. But then I have
doors.
I have
Well, yeah, you got closets. Closets can have 2 doors on them.
exactly.
Jesus.
I have
Okay.
Yeah.
I have
She
looks
likes
like an
ingress and
armoire.
egress.
Yes. I have an armoire here that has 2 doors on it. Inside of that, there's a door. There are doors, way more doors than you think about. All over the place.
Floors. Drawers.
No. Yeah.
Drawers aren't doors.
No, it was referencing all my inner parents that are out there listening. They know what I'm talking about.
So you're still going to go with
I'm
wheels?
still going wheels. There's a lot of
Yeah.
wheels out there. Like, yeah.
I know there are a lot of buildings out there though too.
That's
Doesn't matter.
You don't think so?
If you're gonna
I
consider
think an office building
Yeah.
you're gonna
quickly
consider-
gets.
so, like,
Building, apartment
do you
building.
consider like cupboards and stuff doors?
That's the
said,
thing.
Okay.
I
So
would.
then pretty much anything that is wheel-like, that is round and serves a purpose of some kind of a wheel to roll something on or to roll on something is a wheel. So therefore you have to include car wheels, obviously tractor trailer wheels, any kind of trailer wheels.
Caster
period.
wheels.
You have to
Casters.
include those giant mechanisms that they use in factories instead of conveyor belts, which are just wheel-based to roll things down, beer stores, liquor stores. You have to consider Lego wheels, wheels on roller skates, roller blades, which all have 4 to 6
What
wheels.
about water wheels?
A lot of roller skates, especially in the 60s and 70s, which are probably still out there somewhere,
I mean, it's in the name, Mike.
would generally
water
have
wheels.
the dual wheels, right? So their mechanisms were 4 wheel sets, but each one was 2 wheels. So 8 wheels per each, and then 16 per person, and there were probably millions of those made. When you start stacking on top of each other, there's just
Yo-yos.
more wheels.
Hula hoops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is a hula hoop a wheel though? I don't.
I mean, it's round. It can be a wheel. You can throw it and it can roll.
People would roll them down the street with a stick.
Yeah. Yes, but that's not a wheel. That
Why not? It rolls.
Well,
Just
I did.
roll-
Bruno,
just because-
Bruno did
no,
say
that does
Bruno
not
did say the
define-
definition. Bruno did say the definition that it would be used to move something else. So by
Yes.
Bruno's definition, it's not a wheel.
So, per definition, a circular object that revolves on an axle and is fixed
Axis?
below a vehicle
Okay.
or other object to enable it to move easy over the ground.
So hula hoop.
But that's the
not a
noun
wheel.
version. So the
Well,
verb
then that
version
takes conveyor belts out.
is push or pull, or fly in a wide circle or curve. So
Yeah. No, I'm going with still no. I'm going with no on this one.
well, I'm going to go with wheels. I don't care.
It's
Fine,
not a
fine.
yes or no question. It's a wheels
I mean-
or doors question.
No. I'm going with no. A hula hoop is not a wheel.
I mean,
Oh, we already said
obviously
that.
wheels win.
We agreed
because
on that.
there's the wheel of time. I mean, how much bigger can you
That's
get?
one wheel.
Jesus.
That's
And it's
still
all of
just
time.
one wheel. We don't need the wheel of time. We have plenty of other wheels to
Yeah.
utilize.
Yeah.
There's-
Right.
it's
Minus
all of
one
time.
wheel there.
The United States
Buddy.
has already helped us. Have you seen the size of the military? The amount of wheels they have on all their stuff? Already enough wheels. We have so many wheels. Everything.
What about Hot Wheels?
We have
Hot Wheels count.
Hot
too.
Wheels, also wheels. Like there are so many Hot Wheel vehicles.
That's true. That's
we
very
have way
true.
more wheels than
Very
doors.
true.
And if we don't, we can go out there and we can fix that solution by destroying a couple skyscrapers. I shouldn't have said that. Should
Oh
not have said
God,
that.
yeah. Oh, especially not right now, man. Oh,
Someone's on a list now. Actually, he's already been on that list. Come
I've been on that
let's all be
list. Look
real.
at me.
Let's be real.
So I'm sorry, Bruno. Are you saying that Putin also agrees on the wheels part of it? He's trying to reduce the number of doors.
I think that
God.
is actually the entire reason for everything Putin's doing.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
You guys.
Yeah.
well, we need to get Putin off of TikTok. That's
He's trying to win the wheels and doors argument.
yeah.
So really, everybody should just throw out their doors, and then we'll be done.
Okay. I mean, I will just take these the hinges right now.
I mean,
bury
Ukraine
him
already
indoors.
helped with getting rid of some of their wheels too, though.
Yeah.
Russians.
Just like
All right,
Mike using the wheel of time as an argument. I feel like if Mike was on the other side of this argument, he'd be like, "Well, there's like 3 doors down."
Oh my god.
Oh God. And it counts
Well,
for
there's
every
also-
CD.
There's also the doors.
The doors, yeah.
The doors. That's true. That's true.
They sold
okay, well-
millions of CDs and records.
That's true.
But
So it
there's
does
also the
sound
Rolling
like-
Stones. Would that be considered a wheel?
No. By definition, no.
Oh man.
It doesn't have an axle. It's not attached to
Nope.
a vehicle.
Oh well.
Well, I'm glad we solved this one. This is why I brought this to you guys. I was
Yeah,
like,
you're welcome.
surely
Make
they'll.
sure,
they'll
next time if you want to solve anything, just bring it our way and we'll take it.
Yeah,
I
we'll fix
will.
it right up. Yeah.
I'll bring a new brain buster over. That's going to be
Next
the new
time
feature in
on
Kelly's,
Kelly's
Corner.
Corner, we solve world peace.
Well, I don't think I trust us with that one, but
Watch your
sure Bruno has
phrasing on
something.
that, because if you said solved world peace, you just said that world peace was a problem.
Yeah, that's true.
oh,
And I can tell you right
would
now in this
create
day and
world
age, there's a couple of
peace?
people that are out there solving world peace. That's for damn sure. And they need to stop doing that.
yeah,
That's fair.
yeah. All right,
Well,
the
next
last.
week we fix McDonald's broken ice cream machines.
Oh,
Here we go.
even third parties can't fix that.
I know. It's
Yeah, that's that. That was an
Like,
article we should have talked about.
It actually is funny. Well, actually, I'll bring it up right now. So there's a journalist that I follow a lot, and he has a lot of good videos about different things. And he actually got into the McDonald's ice cream machine debate. And mind you, my wife used to work at McDonald's in her youth, and well, I guess she's still youthful, but like younger youth. And,
He just called you
Way
old.
to call her old. Good job. Solid.
so
Keep digging
So-
that hole.
she's like, the ice cream machines always worked. Like if you clean them and do the things right, they work. But apparently, like there's a whole like almost conspiracy behind the McDonald's machines not working, and it comes down like it's 2 things it comes down to. One is it's a company agreement that they have with the company that what the hell is it called? I can't think of their name, but basically the brand of ice cream machine that they had set up like long time ago, and only those people can come out to fix the machines. And then 2, it's a matter of the cleaning process that is very like particular and very like special, like methods you have to watch. And if certain things go wrong, like if you don't do things in a certain way, it'll fail. And then it starts over and there's this whole like can't use the machine thing, which hence really like leads you into these faulty codes that you don't know. And then you have to literally call the guy, like just call the guy.
Well, and
so
the
it's-
other problem with that is the guy that is there to fix it, they have been notoriously like non-responsive and slow as well.
Yeah, and there's like the one
Yeah.
guy, like literally one guy apparently, because like nobody can get there.
Literally a
It's
guy.
it's been a thing because like down in Atlanta at least there is no Shamrock Shakes, and I don't even know if you guys even know what those are, but apparently up north in near like PA and I think Boston, I guess
Wait,
they have a
there-
Shamrock Shake.
There's no Shamrock Shakes.
And there's no
There
Shamrock
used to
Shakes.
be.
So check this out. So like there was a guy who made a app like which McDonald's machine McBroken, I think it was .com, and it tracked all the broken ice cream machines. Well, someone else made one for the Shamrock Shake so you could find it. But literally we've been to 4 different McDonald's in the area. They have signs that say Shamrock Shake. And I'm like, hey, can I get a Shamrock Shake? They're like, what? I'm like, a Shamrock Shake. They're like,
The thing on your,
We don't have
on your
that.
door.
and I'm like, well, you have a picture. Yeah, we don't have that. And I'm like,
What?
what? So, but yeah, no, the story that Brian was referencing is a company called Kitsch, and they had created software that could be plugged into the USB drive of these machines. and are able to basically give better logging to what the actual error code was, and an app, and it kind of tells you exactly what, like, oh, hey, this failed at the heating process of the cleaning or whatever, to try to help fix the problem. Because a lot of these, like, franchisees that have like these businesses, like, don't really have a whole lot of money to go spend and pay the guy to come out and fix this every single day, like every week. So Kitsch has been like rocking it, and like even they were like promoting it, like, hey guys, at their like huge functions, like, Kitsch is a company, you get with them, they'll have a little thing to come out as an app, you can use it, it like fixes all our machines, it's great. Well, McDonald's obviously didn't like that, because the company that they're in cahoots with obviously isn't going to make money. So they actually
cahoots with, as in have a contract with,
whatever. So they actually are suing McDonald's for, like, I think it was 90 million or 900 million or something.
900 million.
900 million because of the loss and damages, I guess, of what they're saying that they can't use their machine. So it's kind of whack. They got a cease and desist. Like, McDonald's was like, you can't do that. And it's like, well, dude, like, you're not fixing the machine. So like,
and where's my Shamrock Shake?
Yeah. And where's my Shamrock Shake?
Yeah.
So anyway,
that's hysterical, actually. Well, I did not realize that Shamrock Shakes were that hard to come by. I'm disappointed.
try to go order one. You can't.
I'm disappointed about something I didn't know I couldn't do.
Yeah. Good luck.
Weird.
That's weird.
Yeah. Yeah, that is
if
weird.
you do, make sure to let me know, and then I'll go straight there.
I will.
Happy wife, happy life, or something.
Yeah. Words to live by.
I'll let you know if the one up by me has Shamrock Shakes or not.
All right. To the bad news section of Kelly's Corner. So y'all remember Doug the Spud?
Doug the Spud.
Yes. The giant potato, like super 17 kilogram potato.
Yes. He was 17 pounds, actually.
Oh,
he didn't die, did he?
that cut it in half already.
Yep, it did. Oh, there's a French fry joke in there somewhere.
Yeah.
So
I think it's being deep fried.
Yeah. So, I do like to Google in the news about Doug the Spud. Doug the Spud was the New Zealand possible potato going for the Guinness Book of World Records. The last world record holder was about 11 pounds. And this couple in New Zealand found this on their family farm, 17 pounds, waiting, put him in the freezer, sent in the Guinness Book of World Records, all of the stuff that they asked for. The last thing they asked for was the DNA. And they told you a couple weeks ago of the potato for confirmation. And so I do like to check. And
is that like one of your routines in the morning? Like, you drink your coffee, you check your TikTok, you look at
it's actually like, it'll randomly come to me and I'll go, oh, Doug the Spud or Doug the Spud. But this time, Phoenix Nova beat me to the chase, sent me this article as I was like sick, lying in bed.
Would you say he whipped that one up for you?
Darn it, I didn't even think about that angle. I'm so sorry.
Oh, speaking of potatoes.
Potato.
Oh, potato. So sadly,
Potato.
Potato.
Yeah, Brian, this is not about the article. This is the potato thing that you're supposed to do when you potato.
Yeah, this is potato, not potato.
You're right.
It's
it doesn't
stuttering.
sound good.
Can you just click the thingy?
He's like, oh, that potato.
All the times.
That was
for it
great.
to happen.
That was fantastic. For those of you listening and don't see what's actually happening, so we have this piece of software that we
And
use.
for the most part, won't hear it except for in my voice.
Yeah, but like there's something that goes wrong, and the code word is potato. And since we were talking about potatoes, Brian didn't really catch the hint on that one, but we're all good now.
And back to the other potato.
And we're back.
So
we're back.
Brian sent this article. Guinness Book has determined that Doug the Spud is not an actual potato. It is a gourd tuber. of some species that they have not identified in the articles that I found, that specifically one that Ryan found, which is very, very disappointing.
Can they just leave it alone? Can they just let us be happy with Doug the Spud being a spud?
Yeah.
Not
the
Doug
owner,
the Spud, the Gourd.
Yeah. Well, the owner was like, "Oh, I used to, talk to every time I'd open the freezer, my grandkids would come over and they'd be like, 'Can we see Doug?' And so it's kind of really sad."
Hey, he literally said,
Yeah.
and he still thinks Doug is the best, but he literally says, he goes, "Every day I'll go by the freezer and I say good day to him every time I pull out sausages. He's a cool character."
I think it's hilarious that we've given this guy and like this Doug like a southern draw, and they're like from New Zealand. Like,
well, I can't do a New Zealand accent. I know some people
I did it too,
but
though.
it's
Like,
not me.
I always say like Doug the Spud, like that is a thing.
Every time I try to do,
I love the fact that he includes puns in what he's talking about.
yes. He did say that Doug. He said about Doug, he is the world's biggest knot of potato. So
seems like they're still happy, so that's all that matters.
yes, that's true. And they got plenty of attention. So
Yep.
yeah. So that's our last article about Doug the Spud.
Doug the Gourd.
Doug the
not the potato.
The gourd tuber. Yeah.
I guess they could still call him Doug the Spud.
They could. It would just be weird.
Well, I mean, Spud could be considered non-generic for a tuber-like item that looks and tastes like a potato.
It does look just like a potato.
They said it tastes like a potato too.
Oh, they ate Doug?
Yeah, it's in the article.
New vegetable hitting.
No, I thought they said they didn't. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
I thought they said they.
Guardians Life Donna said it sure looked and tasted like a potato.
Oh, stop it. They ate Doug. Oh,
Of course they ate part of Doug.
It was Doug's time. He had to
This
go.
is gonna like feed their family for generations. I mean,
He wasn't winning any awards, so he didn't matter anymore.
I mean,
He was past his prime.
I mean, I'm sure they shaved a little bit off of him, and let's see what Doug tastes like today.
well, oh God, poor Doug. I actually feel we've anthropomorphized this
Gourd a
tuber
bit too much. Yes,
and
you have.
me of all people to be saying this is that we've crossed a line. This is weird.
Kelly, to be fair, it does have eyes.
True. Well, no, it doesn't because it's not a potato.
It has you can see in the picture. It's got eyes. It's a tuber. A potato is a type of tuber.
Oh, that's true. That's a good point.
This is a
That's
gourd
good point.
tuber, and it's got eyes. So there you go.
Oh,
Is that what constitutes being a living thing? Is having something called an eye?
No, it's just closer to. It's easier to anthropomorphize it.
Anthropomorphize it. Yes.
I'm not even
I'm just gonna say, like, if Mr. Potato Head was real and he was actually a potato, I would still make French fries out of him. I wouldn't care.
Mr. Potato was actually a potato.
Well, like if he was really, really a potato instead of just
It really was a potato.
Really. Before
they sold the pieces, and the kids had to push it into an actual potato.
real potato.
I was thinking more Toy Story, but I guess you're right.
Yeah. Back in the day.
Well, if I
What did
built
they call
Mr.
Mr. Potato?
Head, gave him a name, befriended him, and then my mom was like, "Do you want French fries?" I'd be like, "Kill him."
Hell yeah! Let me pull the
They call
plastic
Mr.
pieces off.
Potato
Go
Head,
for it.
I mean,
He served his
I've eaten
purpose.
things I've seen alive too, so I don't know why that this one really like.
Yeah, I don't know what your
home for me.
attachment is to this potato. Maybe it's because its name is Doug.
I think
Yeah,
so.
it doesn't. It doesn't help that they named it.
Yeah.
I love the fact that you totally glossed over in your reading of the article the fact that
they ate
tasted it.
God.
I have to imagine that after being frozen for so long, he tasted miserable.
No, I'm guessing they tasted him pretty early because they hit him with a hose, so they probably already damaged him a little bit then.
That's true. Oof.
Doug just wasn't long for this world.
Poor Doug.
Wasn't long for that record either.
No,
I don't know. This story's been going. Well, I mean, he never had the record, so yeah,
Exactly.
true.
Yeah.
But they certainly got their runtime out of this story. I mean, this has been going on for
It really has.
A while now.
We had done the story about the world's largest strawberry, and that took a year to confirm. So I'm surprised that they were able to confirm this super quick. And you know what? I think there's lots of murders out there that need their DNA tested, murder evidence. So whoever the Guinness Book of World Records used, we should probably be using them.
It's a different gene set when you're trying to compare potatoes to humans.
DNA is DNA.
It is, but I don't know for certain, but I'm guessing that testing plant DNA might be a little bit different than animal DNA.
No, it's not.
I'm sure it's the same thing.
Guaranteed it's the exact same
thing. No difference.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I am done talking about Doug the Spud because he's no longer
Mike's like, I never want to talk about Doug ever again.
That's messed up.
So with that,
that's kind of messed up.
We're going to get into the news. And I'm going to pass this one on to Kelly because it's a whole lot of stuff about a game that I don't know anything about.
As if I haven't talked about it enough already, I'm going to pass it on to Bruno in a minute. Okay, so...
It's like a hot potato. We're going to toss it around. Okay.
Stop. Oh, poor Doug. All right.
I mean, he's a cool dude right now, but he's going to get really hot when they make a whole mess load of French fries out of him.
Tuber fries.
And they're not called potato fries.
That's true. Oh, we'll have to decide this one.
Was on video. It was really great watching Kelly just stop and kind of look up in the air and contemplate that.
Yeah. I was like, wait a second.
That's true. That was funny. I don't know why. That just tickled me.
So, a Reddit user, XDC_LIS, I'm going to call them XDC lists from now on, or them from XDC lists from now on, posted on an Elden Ring subreddit how they beat an invader, won against an invader, by dressing up as and acting like an NPC. So, dude is in game, sees this NPC, kills the NPC, drags its body, cosplays in its clothes, then opens up the game to invaders and literally walks back and forth in the exact same routine that the NPC does. And this invader comes in and they're like, where's my dude? Where do I go? Where is this person? Back and forth. Meanwhile, XTC lists still walking back and forth. The invader even walked right past the guy. Thought that was freaking genius. Bruno has educated me that this is like a common thing. But because the invader couldn't find XTC lists, they left the game. And in Elden Ring, when someone leaves, that's considered a win for you.
Nice.
So, yeah, I will have to tweet out the video because it is pretty hysterical. Like,
so Kelly, going back to what you just said a moment ago, that
is this going to be another potato thing?
Killed the NPC. He drugged the NPC's body off somewhere, took its clothes, put its clothes on, and then pretended to be the NPC. Now, that sentence, how do you feel about that sentence now that you've watched Free Guy?
Oh, yes. Oh, my gosh. I feel so bad for that poor NPC.
Well, technically, that's unfortunately not how Elden Ring gearing works. So he actually would have had to kill that NPC type like probably at least a few dozen times to get all the different gear pieces.
Get all the gear.
Okay.
Because it only drops.
So get the helmet, the gloves, the chest piece, the pants, and then the sword and the torch. Actually, a lot of things had to die.
Him and he He didn't drop his name tag that says guy yet. I guess we're going to have to kill him 5 more times.
The torch that he was using actually comes from a very specific place in another castle, so you have to kill a bunch of things to get to it. And then, it's a whole thing. So he put a lot of effort into mimicking that one NPC.
Oh, this is Bruno, that's resident Elden
pretty stellar.
Yes.
Player here.
Yes.
That's pretty stellar.
That's pretty amazing.
There's a lot of silly stuff in Elden Ring, which kind of brings us into the rest of the stuff for Elden Ring we have to talk about, which revolves around speedrunning for the most part. Well, I guess it all in some way ties into speedrunning. So we've kind of been like watching through this for the last week, and it started with the first person beating Elden Ring in under an hour.
Wow, that's impressive.
Which it was an any percent run. So to clarify, any percent means that you essentially just have to finish the game. As in, like, you have to roll the credits. It doesn't matter how you get there. So if you skip like almost the entire game, so long as you roll the final credits, you have succeeded at completing it. And it counts. And that broke at an hour about a week ago. And now it's down to 37 minutes. And it probably won't go that low ever again. Or at least not for a while. Because FromSoft did something they don't usually do. At least not super early on. They modify things with DLC, but they actually went ahead. They released an update that just nerfed everything that these people were using to do this stuff. So distortion is one of the primary speedrunners, and the fastest, the record holder for any percent speedruns. He has 37 minutes. It might be lower by now, to be totally honest.
28 minutes and 59 seconds.
Yeah, 28 minutes and 59 seconds. And one of his favorite things to utilize...
Same guy, by the way.
Yep. One of his favorite things to utilize was the Hoarfrost Stomp build, which was hilariously broken. It is a ice AoE ability where you literally just stomp your foot and shoot at a giant cone of ice that scales off of your weapon's damage. And it was like insanely easy to use to kill literally any boss. I actually, like, after I completed my second playthrough, I went and grabbed that spell and was like, I'm going to go and try this on a boss. And very effective at killing things before it could even touch you. So they nerfed it. It now does half the damage and has like twice the cast time, making it pretty much useless. Because you will inevitably run out of resources and have to continue to pot to actually kill these things. So it's just not as effective as other strategies. Which means that speedrunning is about to change a whole lot for Elden Ring. Now, there are a lot of different kinds of speedruns, as I said, but the primary versions are any percent, which is what Distortion did in 28 minutes. And then there's the Runebearer Run, which is essentially you have to kill, I think it's 15 bosses in total in order to complete the game. And that run's record, I think, is sitting somewhere at like 3 hours and something minutes. I think Ella holds that record right now. I'm not actually entirely sure because of how quickly it's changing. Like, it's almost impossible to keep up with what the newest speedrun is, or it has been for the last, since it released.
There's that Frost Stomp.
Yeah. Poor Frost Stomp. It is broken. The boss that is being fought in the clip that you can see if you're watching the video on YouTube or if you're watching us live on Twitch is actually the Godskin duo. They are one of the harder bosses for people to beat because of the mechanics behind them. First of all, both of them are extraordinarily annoying bosses alone for most people. In this case, you're fighting both of them at the same time. And if you kill one, he just comes back again, so long as the overall HP pool of the boss has not been reduced to 0.
Wow.
Yeah, good times. But yeah, the newest patch nerfed a ton of stuff. Funny enough, everybody was complaining about how casters had it really good and how the game was super easy for them and casters were easy mode. But obviously FromSoft did not feel that way, seeing as while they nerfed a bunch of melee builds, and I do mean a whole bunch of them, they buffed caster builds. by increasing intelligence scaling and buffing a bunch of caster abilities to make them way more useful than they were before. So amusingly enough, it falls more in line with what I was saying, where the game is weirdly imbalanced at this point in time for both sides. And I guess FromSoft's way of looking at it was that casters were in a worse spot in a lot of ways than melee players. So that's it for Elden Ring speedrunning news and nerfs. Stay tuned for more, because there'll be more. I'm assuming like soon it'll be like a 22-minute speedrun, 15 bosses, and I'll just cry.
Yeah, like speedrun is now 2 seconds. We basically load the game, and we initially just load the last file of the credits.
I'm going to laugh so hard if somebody finds out that there is some stupid way, like there's an NPC or something that you miss a piece of dialogue and you just talk to this NPC or kill it and you just end the entire game.
That would be amazing, actually.
That would sound
but
like
don't kill any more
crazy.
NPCs.
Oh man, so many NPCs die. One of the things that's really interesting with Elden Ring is like, so they added some quality of life things. The quests are like, they weren't tracked at all. You didn't know what you were doing. Like you would do a quest line, and if you didn't pay attention to the dialogue, oof, good luck.
I mean, that kind of sounds like a Souls game right there anyway. So
that already sounds like another reason why I'll never play this game.
They just changed that now, so there's quest tracking in the game, so you can see where these NPCs move to, and follow them. But like, there's one NPC in the game, spoiler alert, talking about patches. So if you're playing the game, you don't want to hear about patches. Just skip like the next minute. Patches is an asshole who you meet and he tries to kill you. And then
I thought you were talking about game patches, not
I
NPC.
thought he was talking about
Sorry.
game patches.
No, Patch is an NPC.
Like it took, like I had to shift
You beat
gears
him.
for a second.
And then he's like, no, don't kill me. And like, it doesn't really matter if you choose to kill him or not. He seemingly returns. And like, depending on how you go through the quest line with him, he tries to kill you over and over again. Like
Patches.
in the dumbest ways. Like one of them, you're like wandering a cliffside and it randomly dismounts you and you go into a cutscene and like you're looking over and like you think you hear something, you're like looking down, and then Patch just comes up behind you and he just shoves you off the cliff.
Rude.
Yeah. This guy's a dick. He just shows up in random places and tries to get you killed.
You tried to kill him. You tried to kill him.
Initially you don't. You just go and you open a chest and he tries to murder you. And then you're like, whoa, don't kill me. And then you beat him.
What's
and
in
he's like,
here?
please show mercy. And then you show him mercy and he's like, yo, legit though? I'm just going to try and kill you anyways. There's also another place in the game where you walk into this dark room and you hear his annoying ass laugh and the door locks behind you. And then this giant silver knight comes lurching out of the corner and starts to beat the crap out of you.
Oh.
And you can't open the door. Every time you try and open the door, you just hear...
This is amazing. I like this idea of Patches. It's like it gets the horror level in the game ratcheted up a little bit.
He's not
just
a good
like
person.
Walking down, you hear his laughter, and you're like, "Damn it!"
And one of my
where the hell are
playthroughs,
you?
I joined his faction, and it was like a whole thing. Kelly would hate that entire.
Yeah.
It was like an entire quest line where they're like, "Hey, you know all those NPCs in the world that have been helping you?" And you're like, "Yeah," and they're like, "How about you join our group and you kill all of them?" And you're like, "Yeah, let's go kill all the good NPCs in the world." And then when you come back, they're like, "Now we're gonna kill you anyways." It's great.
Oh my god!
But also a big part of the speedrun, Volcano Manor. I hope that things change though. My final note on this is the speedruns in this Souls game for any percent are the most boring speedruns of any Souls game ever.
Oh,
by a large margin. Because there are bugs put in the game, or there are bugs that exist in the game.
Are we talking about actual like development bugs? Or are we talking about insects? Because we've talked about casters, we've talked about patches.
There are developmental bugs. So effectively, in the 80% run, you only fight 2 bosses. The rest of them, when you fight them, they're like broken. They don't attack you back. They just kind of stand there and do nothing. It's really sad. But yeah.
Oh.
Come on, Elden Ring. More patches.
I don't know which patches you're talking about at this point.
¿Por qué no les das?
Oh my god. So Enough of Elden Ring. Someone save me.
Yeah, so I saw a bunch of chatter about this game on Steam called Domina. Let me pull up my Steam. The game, when you go to Steam, it's about this game. It's take charge of a gladiator school in ancient Rome and test your strength in lightning-fast, bloody battles of pixels and raunchy insults, which sounds awesome to me, quite frankly. Except one of the developer who posted the patch notes for the latest version 1.3.18, added in some random anti-masker BS, like
Rant.
halfway through. Yeah. And it's
Damn
still
it,
there.
patches, you have to ruin everything.
Seriously, patches all the time. So it's the release notes are still there with this garbage. It says in caps, take off the masks. Next time you're at the grocery store, try showing a woman your face. Be confident, unafraid of the lies. You might get a girlfriend. Women like confidence. Women don't like dudes who cover their faces in fear. What are you afraid of? Getting laid? Grow up. There's somebody who needs to grow up.
Yeah.
It is not your audience, though. I'm not.
I mean, it could be his audience potentially. I mean, we don't know, but I guess the biggest thing that I, as a, even stuff that we talk about, the content that we put online, it's all of our, our facade, I guess you could say. But we have to be very careful what we post, and
Yes,
because there's like both sides. There's always both sides of the story. A lot of people like certain things, a lot of people don't. So we try not to bring any like politics into things because we know that people are torn on that. So for you to bring that into like your game, like you should expect to have some sort of like pull, from even if you have people that do like that and think it's great, there's going to be people who don't.
you got to expect some backlash, right? And what does wearing a mask have to do with getting laid? Guaranteed, I know for a fact people are getting laid even though they're wearing masks.
Hey, we don't need to look about logic here. Okay,
I know. And
anybody who wears a mask will never have sex for their entire life. Confirmed by this person. So, surgeons, nope. Firefighters, definitely not.
The majority of Asian
Astronauts,
people,
nope.
Yeah,
Definitely not.
Most of Japan is that right there. This guy just nailed why Japan has a birth rate problem because they're wearing masks.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's exactly.
Wouldn't that be
what it
the
is.
opposite?
It's because we're wearing masks.
Exactly. We have
apparently.
too much of a birth rate problem.
See, the reason why superheroes in comics always have so much time to do superhero things is because they're never getting laid.
Yeah.
Because they wear masks.
Good point.
That's why they have all that extra time. Because all the people not wearing masks are out there having sex, so they're too busy to save the world.
First of all, I see them getting laid a lot.
No, that's fake.
No, they wear masks.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Well,
because they wear masks at some point, so there's no way. It's impossible.
But how often have you seen them getting laid when they're wearing a mask?
It's true. There's this old joke that I know, but I'll probably tell it in the intermission.
Damn.
Probably not appropriate.
Okay. We'll put that one on hold. So the ratings for the game, or reviews for the game, were at one point mostly positive or very positive, and they started tanking because people started providing their input based on this person's patch notes. So there's a little asterisk now in Steam that says, 71% of the 32 users in the last 30 days are positive. And, some other reviews were not related to gameplay, so we can't consider those. So I thought that was
fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as I disagree with that particular developer and using the patch notes, that developer can believe whatever he wants, but I just think the wrong place to talk about was the patch notes.
Yeah.
Regardless,
I mean,
I don't think people should be review bombing stuff either.
Yeah. Well, the
I
thing is,
agree.
When-
I agree.
You know,
It's a
regardless of the
platform,
reason,
right?
regardless if it's even a reason that I agree with.
Yeah,
So-
it's just the
I mean,
first time
it's-
I've seen an asterisk on
Glad Steam
a
did
game.
something.
Yeah, exactly. It was the first
Well,
time I was
saying-
like, oh,
it's a platform that the developer has created, right? Like putting this game out there is his platform. So he was like, I want to be able to say what I want. I'm going to put this into my game, which is great. But you can't get
Guaranteed
upset
seems
when
like
people disagree with you.
yeah, no,
But yeah, I
definitely
agree.
can't.
Like it's unfortunately that's not a good place to voice how you don't agree with it, because review bombing a game on a system that's supposed to be based on how the gameplay is, that doesn't really affect that. Like that's not really something that should be taken into consideration.
I
the
also
best thing to come out of this is that Steam now has a review bombing detection system, because that's actually been one of the main things that I
Yes.
have shit on Steam about
Yeah.
the most, and I've probably said it multiple times throughout previous
you have.
episodes. I have a huge dislike for how Steam has handled a lot of their social aspects, and one of the big ones is review bombing. It's one of the most toxic practices that has gone completely unanswered for on Steam. So seeing this is at least good. I mean,
well,
Yeah.
and the other
Agreed.
side of that too is while the developer used his platform to say it, unfortunately, he's also using Steam's platform to say it right now. And Steam,
Yeah, it's true.
I'm not telling them to do anything. I'm just saying I consider it fully within their rights to totally remove those patch notes and not allow them to put them up, because because Steam is not his platform.
Nope,
Yeah, and
exactly.
that's- yeah,
Exactly.
makes sense.
I guarantee Steam is reviewing their terms of the agreement and making some
And that's
updates.
yeah,
But
that's a good point, because Steam is one of the larger platforms. Like you have itch.io for indie developers, and if you get your game pulled off of Steam, you're not gonna have a good time.
yeah,
You're not gonna be able to go anywhere else. Really, I mean, there's Epic, but that's if they accept you.
Well, and I'm not
Epic
even
wouldn't
saying
take
they got to
something
pull
like
the
that.
game off. I mean, they could just
I'm saying that they could. That's my point. Is
yeah,
it's kind of the
but
person you don't
I'm
want
just
to piss
saying
off.
the kind of the middle ground here, or not even where anywhere close to pulling the game off, is just pulling the patch notes down.
Yeah.
The patch notes
Sorry,
still
Bruno,
up.
I kind of jumped on you there.
no, if you find a way to get yourself removed off of Steam without your game being an actual hot mess, you're probably screwed.
Yeah.
Because if Steam won't touch you, Steam will touch everything. If you look at Steam's catalog of games, you can
Oh
put
God, yeah.
anything on there. They
Yeah, and
really
if you don't
do
think
not
so,
care.
if you think everything on there is not bad, then turn off your adult filter, and then you really see
Yeah, no, it's rough. Honestly,
not suitable for life.
the
Type.
figure's probably at this point
there's a dark
70% of what's on Steam is really awful. There's a weird dark underbelly of Steam that people just never get to see. So if you manage to get yourself exiled from Steam, you're pretty much just blacklisted. You should just give up.
There's literally a game where you play as a dictator known from World War II, and you're going around and having sex with people.
I've seen that. Well, saw the name.
And the reviews on it are actually kind of hilarious.
Oh man.
Some of them talking about the historical accuracy being incorrect because the model had 2 testicles and the man in real life only had 1.
Oh my God.
It's actually super, and it's this horrible game, but you can't help but to look at these reviews and just laugh because it's so ridiculous.
The reviews are great, but I'm like, those people actually had to play the game.
Yes.
I just can't see myself actually playing it.
No,
I read the reviews.
I could not either.
Get pass. Nope.
Was there more on that, Kelly? I think you.
Oh no, you're good.
Okay.
We're all set.
Well, the last thing I'll say about that article is that the developer did post on Twitter and said tried to make light of it, like a Windows response, and was like, "Oh, look at all you whatever, all you woke people trying to cancel culture, review bombing me, blah blah blah." And he's like, and people are like, "Yeah, dude, so we get it. You're just a dick." All right.
Yeah.
He said something really stupid, and it just made it worse. Hold on, let me find the tweet. Oh, Domina, Dev suggests courage, woke mob. No, courage is bad, actually, and there's no such thing as cancel culture. Also, he posted about how his reviews were suddenly negative. So
Yeah. But yeah.
I also find it amusing that certain people use the word woke culture, which if you look at the way they're using it, it's usually talking bad about people that are just trying to make sure that we're decent to one another. Like,
hey man, there's no time to
hey jerk, you just called Jesus woke culture and he's trying to cancel. Like,
Well, let's move on to a game company that people already previously loved to hate, and then hated even more, and now hate them a little less, which is the reverse in this situation. So we're going to talk about Lost Ark. Amazon Game Studios / Smilegate released a really large announcement yesterday as a recap to what we discussed last week. Amazon Game Studios and Smilegate have been under a decent amount of fire for a couple of things. One, as a side bit, is there's the drama behind your cosmetics are too sexy and your cosmetics aren't sexy enough. Why are you censoring this? Why aren't you censoring this? So, like, a small vocal minority of the community is like, hey, this is bad. You need to make these less sexy. You need to, like, ungender lock classes. And another minority is like, no, we should have all the same things that exist in the KR version, the Korean version, the Japanese version, the Russia version that, you know, they got to have because they have all those costumes. We should have all those costumes. We shouldn't have doctored versions. The doctored versions are really bad. So, like, oh, she's wearing, like, knee-high socks and then the rest is her skin showing. We'll just turn her skin color black. And then it'll look fine. And you're like,
oh my God.
Wait a minute.
Oh, God.
It's got some problems. There was definitely some areas where people were like, we don't have the time to redo all these skins, so we're just going to just color that in and it'll be straight. So that's what people at a surface have been hearing. But once you get into the actual game's deep community, there's been a much larger issue brewing. And if you go to the Reddit and you look at the last week, it's been super volatile. So they released Argos, which is the first Abyssal raid. Not Abyssal Dungeon, but Abyssal raid. So it is a 3-part series raid boss fight that you can go in starting at item level 1370. For the first phase, 1380 for the second, 1390 for the third, I think is how it goes.
How many people?
8 people.
Oh.
So it's an 8-person raid.
That doesn't sound like a raid to me, but...
Yeah, 8-person raids are like really common now. Final Fantasy does 8-person raids, ESO, et cetera, et cetera. Even like World of Warcraft now has decreased their thing down to like 10-person raid balance for a lot of things.
I mean, I love it when there's 32 people, there's so many particle effects, and it starts like chugging your graphics card.
The reason why they've tried to move away from that is because how hard it is to coordinate 30-person raid groups and have everybody be on time. But this raid came out 3 weeks and a couple of days, so like 23, 24 days into the game's release. So from start to end game raid, there was like 24 days for its release. The pay to progress players who had been using the item mall and buying gold through the item mall were able to get into the raid within a couple of days of its release and start clearing the first levels. And within like a week, they were able to clear the entire thing. And the free-to-play players, the earliest ones to get in there were like 4 days after the release. And most of them are stuck in what they call the dead zone, which is from 1340 to 1370. The dead zone existed on every other version of the game. It existed on Russia's version, Japan's version, Korea's version. Essentially, once you hit 1340... your chances of success in honing are like 15%, which is miserable because you have to upgrade every single piece of gear. It's like 15% from like +8 to +15. So then times that by 6. And then the cost of each enchant is like, because of the economy, it was like 30,000 gold. It was wild. So anyways, people got stuck here. There was a lot of debate about whether it was fair. The initial response is like, hey, this sucks. They shouldn't have done this again. They made this mistake before, but like deal with it. one of the big things that you have to realize is there's no horizontal progression for you guys. You don't have alts to feed your main characters like we do in other versions, because where we got it 4 or 5 months after the game released, you guys got it 3 weeks, which means the time that everybody had to prepare was like minuscule in comparison. Either way, it started a massive outcry about how gated the content was. People started saying it was pay to win and pay to play because you had to essentially buy the DLC, which I don't agree with. It's not DLC, it's free content. You'll get there eventually. But the projections for a casual player, and by a casual, I mean someone who's playing like 2 hours a day to get there, who had already pushed to 1300, would be like a month from now if they were going to get there by just doing dailies on one character every day. Like a month being like on the nice side, probably like a month and a half. Everybody was just kind of shitting on them. It was like Amazon Game Studios is the devil. They've ruined this game. The game is going to die. From this minority, Amazon Game Studios, all to say, came out with Smilegate and made an announcement yesterday to say that they apologize. First of all, they were like, we're really sorry. We're going to give you guys a look behind everything that's gone on so far. And they were like, based on the metrics that we got, or like the data we had from the other release versions, we honestly thought that if we tweaked a couple of things, we gave people catch-up mechanics to blow through Tier 1 and Tier 2, because the other parts started with just Tier 1, to get you guys to Tier 3 really fast, that there'd be a good chance that you guys could get to Argos within a reasonable time frame. It did not work out that way. They said one of the big things is we didn't anticipate the botting problem that we ended up having. It was way more severe than they expected. And they said the botting issue was so bad that they feel like currency is way undervalued. So like the amount of gold that a normal player needs to buy items from the auction house is astronomically high in comparison to the amount of gold they can pull off on a single character from doing reputation quests and stuff like that. So like all these issues compounded on each other to a point where it became really hard for semi-hardcore or casual to hardcore players to make it to where they wanted them to be. So they were essentially like, we released this content way earlier than we should have. And they're like, so we understand that. And with that in mind, starting next week, so next Thursday, they're going to launch 3 new systems, essentially, into the game to provide additional honing materials to help all the free-to-play players close the gap. They're going to take a new system they added this last week, which is the Mario Kart system, essentially. It's called the Arcadia Grand Prix, which is legitimately Mario Kart mini game that you do once a day. You like go in and you're like on a little dinosaur, and you can leave like little poop things behind as like bombs, and you can shoot little missiles at people to stun them, and you can charge them and knock them over and things like that, and you have to avoid obstacles, the whole thing. They're going to double the rewards from that, and their idea is that with these massive amounts of updates, the addition of PvP vendors, that they're hoping that everybody can get to Argos in a short time frame. And that going forward, they're going to focus on making the content easier to progress through until they release the ultimate endgame that is coming, because we have very little of the actual full-blown endgame that exists in Korea. And as an apology, they're releasing this massive bundle of cosmetics, including mounts, skins, pets, all of this different stuff into the game. And I almost think that this was calculated. The cosmetics are the most tame cosmetics I've seen in every game, in any game in my entire life.
Oh,
there are all these like little mascot outfits, so you can dress up as like an angry cow or like an angry chicken costume.
Stop it!
It looks like you're wearing like a kigurumi, right? So like you're wearing a little kigu, but then it's like an angry cow, and like its horns are red, and it has like angry eyes on it, like the mean little emoji eyes.
Mad.
No.
And they have like all these like little like rainbow hoverboards with little like tiny faces on them and stuff. So like one of them's like a little rabbit, one of them's like a makoko, which is like one of the little plant guys inside of the game. And the pets are all like different little makoko pets, and some of them are wearing like Christmas hats and stuff. So like all this stuff is super tame. Like you literally like there's no skin showing. You're just a person inside of a giant like like mascot outfit. It's hilarious.
Tony the Tiger.
And they're giving out jukebox songs for some kind of thing that hasn't been released yet. But the end of all this is like their big release. They actually apparently flew out the director, or I guess I should say the director from Smilegate, Gold River is what they call him. He flew out. I think they all met up. The Amazon Game Studio heads and the heads from Smilegate all met up in Seattle to discuss the trajectory of game and to change the course of what was happening for the NA and EU versions. And they released this big, huge post, essentially. So the summary is they apologized. We're going to release all these new events. We're going to make things easier for you. We're also going to just give you guys this apology gift. And they said that they've banned over 1 million bots in the last week and a half.
Whoa.
And they said
Good for
that
them.
they do not intend to let up on it, which people are kind of angry about because there's a lot of people saying, I got caught in the ban wave and I didn't do anything wrong. And they're
okay. Yeah, sure. Yeah,
okay.
No.
We're not going to say that we don't believe that some people could have been caught as a false positive. But we're going to have to handle that on a case-by-case basis. And they've alluded to the fact that, you can post and say that you didn't get banned, but if we reply to you and say that you were banned and you're staying banned, it's because we feel without a shadow of a doubt, we did not false positive ban you because we do have ways of checking into that. Which has been really amusing. And they've provided evidence. People have posted I was banned and I shouldn't have been banned, blah, 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 blah. And then they'll update their post and be I've been unbanned. And they're yeah. If we banned you by mistake, we'll know once we look into it. So it's a whole thing. So
I mean, if anybody's going to have the manpower to go through and double check these things, it's going to be Amazon.
I know it's interesting because they're supported.
I'm sure
they're
they got people that are sorting
right now.
They got people that are manually sorting these packages, and at the same time, they got a screen in front of them so that they can watch. And nope, bot. Asshole.
It's interesting because a lot of people are shitting on the Amazon support. And don't get me wrong, Amazon support is miserably bad for Amazon Game Studios. New World support in general.
You said you had to call them a couple of times, right?
I've had to call Amazon support themselves, but not Amazon Game Studio support necessarily.
Okay.
But Amazon Game Studios support in New World was And my experience with them, if you push them hard enough, with Lost Ark was actually not terrible. I straight up contacted them and was here's this bug. The guy was a complete idiot. He was no, man. You just you just gotta verify your game cache. And I was are you actually telling me that my game cache somehow doing this on my game cache will somehow correct me missing items on my account? Are you saying that quest completion and item obtaining is handled client side? Because if you are, I'll make a forum post about it. And then immediately they're nope, hold on. They looked into it. That bug was fixed next week. Next week for all players, they fixed that entire bug for everybody. It was a bug for claiming your welcome challenge.
Because
that was worth a ton of resources.
You've got the power.
And I contacted them. I explained it to them. I sent them screenshots, information, where it occurs, in terms of where in the UI, what part is broken, what you can't claim. And I told him, you contact me again on Tuesday because I want an update on this. And he was Tuesday. On Tuesday, he got back to me. He's hey, listen, we might have an update tomorrow based on the feedback that I'm getting, but we don't have anything for you today. And I was I'll hear back from you tomorrow. And he was just all right. And he messaged me the next day and he said, there's going to be an update tomorrow and it's going to be fixed. And I was okay, don't close this because I want to make sure that tomorrow it's fixed. And he was okay. And then the next day I logged in and it was fixed. And I updated the ticket and he was I was about to send you a reply. I'm glad that it's working for you because it should be working for everybody. Have a great day. And I was awesome. So you can give them a lot of crap because their support is pretty shaky, but if you push it, you can get what you need out of them. That was my rant on Lost Ark for this
I
one,
loved it.
as I put Mike to sleep.
Yeah, you're fine. Actually, in other news of Amazon, another huge acquisition was actually announced. And this one doesn't actually revolve around the gaming space, but more of just Amazon in general. And we've kind of talked about this in the past about some of the larger studios like Netflix and Amazon and even HBO have all these different production values. And typically HBO is kind of winning for the most part as far as the type of quality of content they're putting out. And there was actually a Reddit post about this, and the guy basically broke it down. He worked all three studios in the past, and he said the biggest thing that makes HBO different than your Amazon and your Netflix trying to produce content is that HBO is under the I can't remember which umbrella it is. I think it was Warner Brothers, maybe, or maybe Universal.
Yeah.
I think it's actually
MGM.
Warner Brothers. And because of that, they have access to all of their studios, all of their, closets full of like costumes and all these things from over the years, like going back to the dawn of time. So when it comes to like Game of Thrones, when you look at their costumes and their design and you're like, wow, that really looks legit. Like, it's because it is. It's most likely something that's been used and worn and like, all that stuff for years now. So that's one of the biggest things that a lot of people have been saying, that like Amazon with like the Wheel of Time series and then, with Netflix coming out with some of their stuff, that the biggest thing is like, is it like Witcher? Is it believable? Like, it looks like the show's great. The costume design's kind of lacking. Anyway, so the big announcement here, and it's funny because I say big and it's really not big, and we'll explain. But so Amazon closes their deal on a $8.5 billion acquisition of MGM Studios. So MGM, being one of the largest like movie companies, like film companies in the world, Amazon actually just signed a deal for $8.5 million to buy them, and it's still in the works. Obviously, like we said before, with the whole Blizzard thing, it takes time. Like, people have to approve and they have to go through with the fine tooth comb, make sure this is, right. But basically, on that sense, why I say it's not that big of a deal is it's so Amazon buys MGM for $8.5 billion. We just talked about Microsoft and Activision Blizzard for $69 billion, right? And like AT&T bought Time Warner for $85 billion, which is the top one so far. And then Disney bought Fox for $71 billion. So like, this is really not that high up on the scale, but I think personally for Amazon, this will be a huge win. Not only because of, like I said, character design, and the set design, but also the franchises that come with that. So MGM is the owner of the biggest one when everybody talks about is James Bond, which kind of an asterisk on that one. But also the Rocky movies, Pink Panther, the Poltergeist series, Stargate, RoboCop, Tomb Raider. Like, I mean, the list goes on and on. So are we going to see reboots of those things? Are we going to see
films?
Shows? Yeah.
4,000 films, 17,000 TV episodes. Yep. And MGM actually had video game rights to some of this stuff too.
Oh, sweet. Which would help Amazon as well, depending on what they do. I say asterisk on James Bond because I didn't see this in the article, but James Bond is actually, it's an intellectual property that they own, but there's actually family still involved with the James Bond IP.
Yeah.
So they are the ones that actually make decisions on if James Bond's going to be a character necessarily in a movie. So I don't know how this is going to fit into that because, yeah, they have the rights to James Bond now technically, but I don't know if that's actually like full-blown rights. I'd like to see a little bit more about that. But yeah, huge. Yeah,
because there's still a UK studio in there somewhere too. So maybe it's like MGM owns the distribution rights or something. I don't know.
Yeah. But really cool. I think it's a good win for Amazon, especially trying to get into like the movie TV space, which, I love it. I love the fact that Netflix puts out stuff. I love the fact that Amazon's putting out stuff. And everybody asked me, like, for the Lord of the Rings coming out on Amazon, they're like, do you think it's going to be good? And I'm like, probably okay at best. But you know what? That's fine. Like, I'm okay with that because it's good to see new shows and new TV like movies coming out about things that we're like into, like geeky stuff. Like, if they didn't do that, we wouldn't have this stuff. So, and obviously it'll get better over time. And, and maybe they'll surprise me. Maybe it'll come out and be really awesome. And
I think Amazon puts out some really awesome stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, what's cool story, Kelly? The one about the comedian in the 50s and 60s.
The woman?
Yep.
Yes.
I know what you're talking about.
Hold on.
It's so good you don't remember the name. I'm just messing with you.
I mean, I've had some wine, so I'm going to on that.
That's fun.
God,
I mean, it's normal for me not to remember names, so
yeah,
I'm on point.
Hold on.
Well, it's cool too because as they add these films and TVs to Amazon Prime Video, because they will.
Right.
To like compete with like Netflix and everything. That's kind of cool because then the people with Twitch can have movie parties with it where they stream an Amazon Prime Video and have a chat room and talk to their viewers while they're like synchronizing the stream of the video. Go ahead. Looks like you found it.
Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Oh yeah, that's the one.
The set design, the
MMM.
Oh my God, it is amazing.
That show.
It is such a great. I think that's one you need to watch. Okay. Yes,
I will think about it.
Have I steered you wrong? Have I ever steered you wrong?
I think Amazon's like original movie / TV creations have been much better track record than their game studios so far.
Yes.
For sure.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
Agreed. They've had some really amazing shows. So,
and technically, Amazon Studios just brought Lost Ark to the U.S. It was already created by someone in
because we still have Fallout
Korea
that's
anyway
supposed to be coming out from Amazon
sometime
in the future. So I
think it's gonna
hesitantly excited about that one because it's.
But
they're gonna murder.
How excited or scared are you that Amazon now has the rights to? I think they specifically said the video game movie rights to Tomb Raider.
I mean, they could maybe actually make that to me better. I haven't watched any of the newer Tomb Raiders, and I don't know. Like, I try
talking
to
about the movie or the video games because I'm talking about video games here, son.
Well, I haven't done both. Like, actually, I need to go play the Tomb Raider. I just got those from Epic, I guess, a couple weeks ago. But I need to go play those. But no, I don't know. We'll see. I'm sure it's gonna be great. I mean, it'll be fun.
You should stream playing the first of the Tomb Raider reboots. It's entertaining in a very weird way, and
the
not
handstand split thing.
No.
Oh well, then that's like.
What are you talking about?
From the original Tomb Raider 1. Where you like pull yourself up and you like do a handstand and then you like.
Okay, I'm talking about the reboot that you just got.
Yeah, reboot. So based on the original games.
Oh my God. It'll be interesting to watch you play it.
All right, great. Back to you, Kelly.
And
no.
Back to Phoenix.
No.
Oh God, we have to give it to Phoenix. All right, fine.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm just not going to spend like 40 minutes beating around the bush and like talking about this forever. This was real easy. Hey, it was a couple of weeks ago. We said, don't buy a video card right now. The prices are going to go down. Sure enough, NVIDIA just informed all of their partners that make the cards. Hey, guess what? We are going to do an 8 to 12% drop across the board for the GPUs that we're selling you, which we expect you to then pass on to the customer. So there should be a drop in the cost of these cards. Interestingly enough, also, if you go and check, you can actually...
Oh, yeah. Keep going.
Interestingly enough, if you go out and check, you can actually purchase video cards again. I saw 3080 Ti's on Newegg going for about $1,300, which, based on the fact that the prices are coming down, that's probably even too much. So there you go. Wait a little bit longer and you might even get better deals on these video cards.
Yep. Well, cool. That is all of the news for now. So hang tight with us for just a minute. Grab a drink, use the restroom, and we'll be back right after the word from our sponsor. And we're back. And if you're listening to the podcast on your normal podcast places, you just missed out on the intermission where Brian talked about his pink taco.
Not
my pink taco. I don't know. I don't own the pink taco. I don't know that.
Apparently, there's a pink taco.
I don't know Brian's anatomy, but I'm gonna just go on a limb and say he doesn't have a pink taco. But
I mean,
there's a chance that somebody very close to him does. So you're right. It is 2022. I'm just basing.
I don't know what the hell y'all talking about. I'm talking about a place that serves Mexican
conversations
food in
that
Phoenix.
have been had.
It's great.
Called the Pink Taco.
Also, intermission, we talked about, or actually we saw some cool little doggies and things like that. So check out the intermission.
And cats.
Patreon. All right, cool. Let's talk about some video games.
Sure.
Well, Phoenix, you hosted Game of the Moment this week. Tell us about it.
That I did. And that was Death's Door. Death's Door is a fun little game where you play a crow because in some cultures, crows are known for ferrying the souls to the next realm. And that's what you do. You gather souls and you put them into doors, essentially. And you get bonked on the head as you try to collect the soul that you had a contract to collect for, and somebody else grabbed it, so you couldn't finish your contract, so you have to go and find that soul wherever it is. These contracts sound like bullshit to me, really. But it's a 3/4 perspective. You go around as a little crow, and you got a little red sword that you swing. You can pick up other weapons very rarely. And you got some different, like, kind of Metroidvania mechanics where, you know, certain things are locked off until you get certain abilities. It's got some light, I won't call it platforming because you don't jump, but similar to that. It's got some neat combat in it. One thing
that was the one thing I mentioned, that it's a crow, but you can't fly. I was like, what?
Right. Well, you can flutter.
But you can flutter. I watched it.
One thing that I didn't mention or didn't show Zycia was actually one of the boss battles, because I showed mostly just the basic combat, some of the puzzle combat.
You actually went
but one of the boss battles is extremely fun.
Oh, whoa! That's a castle.
Wait,
that castle is a boss.
There's more doors now.
Yeah, more doors. So yeah, it's very interesting that, you know, there's this whole concept of this
Dark
boss
Souls.
battle.
This
is the part where people kind of call it a bit of a Souls-like, is this particular part.
It's just funny how everything nowadays is a Souls game.
Oh,
there's a
your
boss,
little bird blood is
and it's bigger than you. It's a Souls game.
Did
it shoots a laser
off the ground with like jets from underneath it?
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
No, it totally launched up off the ground.
Is this Elon Musk's house?
It shoots rockets.
Yeah.
It's not Elon Musk's house. No,
this boss brought to you by SpaceX.
Right?
Oh, you got deleted.
Oh, no.
More death
yeah, that one I died. I thought this was the later one that I did.
Death.
I did a later one where I did much better.
Is there like a cleaning crew, like that one game that comes in after you die to like clean up?
Not that
like
I'm
another
of.
Crow.
Oh my god, what is that game? That sounds awesome.
Oh yeah,
there's Viscera Cleanup Crew or something like that. It's an actual Steam game, which is pretty cool. You play the person that cleans up after the battles. It's quick,
and if you've played those games,
you're
like, I know this map, I know this fight. This is hilarious. Yeah, I'll have to show it to you. I haven't.
And this is kind of why people kind of consider it a Souls-like a bit, because there are patterns to the boss and there are phases to the boss, but in all reality, this game is not a Souls-like. If anything, it's more like Metroid or Castlevania than it is a Souls-like, other than the fact that it's 3/4 perspective.
It's funny that it's like Souls-like is a hot term right now, so everybody uses that for every game. It's like, oh, it's Souls-like. It's like, what does that mean?
I just love the laser in the rockets at the same time.
It's full on going like Optimus Prime right now.
Yeah, I literally recorded this right before the show today because I didn't get to show this to the crew on Tuesday, and there we go. I beat him there. And I wanted to kind of show one of the boss battles just because it's so different from the rest of the kind of combat that is involved with this game. But I was playing it right before as the show, as I said, and both Mike and Kelly had come in and they didn't see they just heard me like basically cussing at the game, or especially since I had done a good run and thought I recorded it, but I was on the wrong screen, so it didn't record it at all. So I had to go back and redo it again. And all this was on a new game. And
I thought you were playing Elden Ring.
Yes.
And based on that boss. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of cool that they're creative with some of the bosses that you go up against. It's a fun game. I highly recommend it. It is currently available with your subscription of Xbox or PC Game Pass. It is available on Xbox and PC. Is also available on Steam for what was it? Zeiss, you looked it up the other day. It was $14.99 or $19.99.
I'd have to look again. I can tell you.
And I'm sure it's available on PlayStation as well.
It's
super cool little game.
Steam.
What was that?
$19.99.
So $20 on Steam. Super cool little game. I've gotten hours of entertainment, and I'm about 40% the way through, and I'm like ready to play some more of it.
Cool. So I played something that's not new, but I did go back. So I've Lost Ark. I'm still playing. That's whatever. But no, I went back to a game that I haven't played a whole lot of because the newest one was out, but it's Civ 6, Civilization 6. If you're familiar with the Civilization franchise and haven't played 6, I'd highly recommend it. They've added a few new features to the game to kind of increase quality of life, also increase the way that the strategy of the game can be played. If you're not familiar with Civilization, it's a turn-based strategy game. Think of like Risk on a grander scale with moving parts and colorful stuff. And it's you pick whatever leader, a famous leader of the world that you want to be. So, for example, like the United States on this version has Teddy D. Roosevelt as the leader that you play. But there's all the different countries out there from Poland to Hong Kong, Mongolia. Like there's Genghis Khan, like just a bunch of different people like that. But you basically pick your civilization and you try to beat the game by not destroying everyone. But actually trying to get one of the game ending situations, which one could be like having the best technology to go to space and then actually sending a rocket to space, like you win the game that way. Spreading a religion, whatever religion you pick, and that's something I'll talk about. But being able to win like at a religious level, there is a domination win that you literally basically destroy everyone and make them your bitch. There's that one as well. And there's a couple other ones I can't remember. I think gathering different like artifacts and stuff and having the most, you'll win on that. But so the difference between like, let's say 5 and 6, one of the biggest things they added for your civilizations are governors. So each city that you have now, you can get to a point where you can assign a governor to that city. And that city basically will be able to have more loyalty towards your civilization, your leader, essentially. And what happens is, because of the way the religion in this game now allows you to create your own religion or pick a religion to use, one of the things you can do is actually send out these apostles or whatever, and they basically try to convert different civilizations into whatever religion you're going for. And they actually have like holy wars and stuff. You'll see like lightning coming through the sky, like shooting each other.
Oh my God.
But it's not considered war because it's a religious war. So it's not like a normal, like you're automatically crossing the line. But by spreading those religion, your loyalty for that city may go down because it's something that you guys aren't converted to. So having a governor in place can help that. And also they come with perks, like if the governor that's assigned there could give you extra production value for that city or whatever. So that's a cool little neat feature they added. One of the other things, like I said, with the religion, adding a new an ability to create your own religion, which is actually pretty neat. We're picking one of the ones that exist. And then the last thing they added in this, and I'm also playing the Rise and Fall expansion, by the way. So Civ 6 Rise and Fall expansion. But one of the other things they added was the ability for the barbarians. So when you start the game, there's all these main civilizations, the large leaders. There's also independent little city states that don't really have all of the leaders running them. It's just a small little thing that you can kind of get extra points for having them on your side, kind of thing. And then there's always been these barbarian camps that basically at the beginning of the game, they're just a nuisance because they constantly attack you, but you can get gold from them, and they're just kind of annoying because they may overpower you for a little bit until you can kind of get yourself moving. But what they did in this game is they shook that up a little bit, and they made it to the way that these barbarian camps could actually evolve. So they now have their own little camps that over time, if you wait 50 turns, they'll actually turn into a city state. They'll actually turn into their own little area and their own little place, which is cool. because that kind of like changes the way the game is. Because like halfway through the game, all of a sudden now there's a new city state you can take. And then the other part of it is you can actually use them for different things. Like you can actually pay them gold to go attack somebody for you, or pay them gold to like mess with a certain resource or whatever. It's like there's like little extra things they've added to try to like change the game up a little bit, which I thought was pretty neat. So highly recommend it if you guys are into like strategy turn-based. It's a great game. I think I've said this before. Like me and my wife would play Civ and clean the house because it's turn-based. So it's like my turn, and later when you get further into the game, it takes a little longer. So you may have like 10 minutes to like look at the screen and really try to figure out what you're doing. And that's 10 minutes of like I'm cleaning while she's playing. And then when she's passes the turn, I come back over, I check out my stuff, and then, so forth and so on. So really neat game. I definitely recommend it. I would say check it out. It's currently still, I think, $60 on Steam. The Rise and Falls, I think, like $30. You can find it. Is there any deal, I think, for cheaper? I think that's how I got it. I think I got it right now for like $17 overall total. But you have to look out there and go through a different game. So a different place.
It may be 85% off right now.
Really? Like as of like as of the day like, after I bought it?
I literally, it's Sid Meier's Civilization 6, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, and it is. It's literally.
You can get the bundle was supposed to be $209.85 for $30.
Yep. So
I basically get it now if you want it.
Day late, dollar short. Yeah, literally, you could buy the base game for $8.99 or $29.88 for everything. So.
Mike, have you played less than 3 hours of it? No.
Oh God, no. I see what you're saying. Actually, I bought it from third party, so I bought it from third party key vendors.
No, it's not.
Anyway. They wouldn't matter. I bought the key. It's over. But yeah, really cool game. Check it out. If you haven't played Civ, I'd recommend playing it. It's definitely turn-based. It's a great strategy game, but it's pretty fun. When you start going through the evolution of technology, it gets pretty fun. So that's all I've been playing. You guys play anything else?
I downloaded L.A. Noire.
Nice.
I installed it. I had downloaded it. I played it on Xbox. I downloaded it, but I finally installed it, and then got a child thing that happened, and so hopefully this weekend I'll be able to.
So you're gonna blame me on that one, but
that wasn't you. Totally not you.
Yeah, Phoenix, there was something you want to talk about? Not something you played.
Oh yeah, there's a couple of things. One, we had the state of play for PlayStation that we talked about last week.
Bruno, we don't talk about him.
Oh my god.
Bruno, did you play anything this week?
Lost Ark.
Just Lost Ark and Elden Ring. That's it. Nothing new.
Okay, so this week there was ID at Xbox Showcase that talked about a lot of announcements of indie games coming to the Xbox platforms. One of the ones is that they kind of shadow dropped Tunic onto Game Pass. Tunic's, my understanding, been out there for a little bit, but they just made it as one of the games on Game Pass. So they dropped that out there real quick, just like 2 days ago, I think. So you can go out and play that real fast now. There's a whole bunch of other games that they quickly showed trailers for, with Escape the Room and Wrestle Quest. One of them that I know my SO is really interested in, because she played this at the last PAX that we were at, which was back in September, was Cursed to Golf, which is an interesting little, not quite golf game, but looks like golf game. And you bounce around, and if you crash through certain trophies, you get extra strokes that you can do. And you're doing this because you're trying to like be alive again, because you died and you're in limbo playing golf for some reason. And they even showed some of the stuff like Trek to Yomi, which was, on the PlayStation 1. So they're like, hey, us too. I mean, of course, if you can do it, you might as well. And Void Train looked pretty interesting. It literally is you you build this train and you keep building onto it. that you're taking through what possibly is the multiverse or something. One of the most intriguing aspects of it was it looks like you can train jack some MFers. Like you're literally on a set of tracks next to another train that's on another set of tracks, and you're putting like walkways across to this other train to raid it, it looks like. So I'm kind of curious about that. So go check out, go check out both of those. The last week's State of the Play from Sony PlayStation and this week's ID at Xbox to get the idea of what type of games are coming out pretty soon. In fact, actually, I think Cursed to Golf is coming out May 4th or May 5th. So it's not too far for that one. Another little game that I found out about, it was actually kind of interesting because I saw this thing is like riff tracks. Now, does anybody know what riff tracks are?
Yes, but if we don't.
If you don't, do you know what Mystery Science Theater 3000 is?
Mm-hmm.
But if we don't.
And if you don't, that is you watch these people watching a movie and making fun of the movie.
It's like the original
and
Twitch.
telling jokes. And what they did with Mystery Science 3000 was the fact that to keep costs down, instead of having to go out and license a movie, they went out and got a movie like an old sci-fi movie, an old Western movie or something like that, that was just, there was no licensing for it. It was common property at that point. So it keeps costs down a little bit. After MS3TK went away, I just screwed that up. MST3K, sorry. After that kind of went to the wayside, some of the different groups went out and they did their own things. One of the groups went out and created riff tracks. And the concept behind riff tracks was to get around the licensing part of it is they just released the audio of them making fun of the movie. So then you could sync up that audio with the movie that you're watching and listen to them make fun of it. Well, they're kind of back in the news because this game company is getting together with them and creating a kind of Jackbox style party game around the concept of riffing on movies, where they'll play a video clip of a movie and they'll stop at a certain place and say, okay, you finish up the line. And you like tippity-typey in your thing along with 5 other of your friends. And it goes through and actually does text to speech and reads out loud your lines as it plays, that movie clip. And of course, they've just got all kinds of crazy movies from the past that they go ahead and include in this. 250 movie clips, like Roller Gator, Attack of the Super Monsters, Plan 9 from Outer Space, which that's a classic, terrible one. And they have 2 different ways you can write your own riff and it'll say it. Or if you're just playing with like maybe some younger audience, maybe not, hopefully not too young, or just people that just don't want to like feel time pressure on the phone to type something in, you can actually choose from one of the riffs that they have self-written. Like, the Amazon toothpaste just got delivered by the drone.
That's like an option for like, if I was going to play with my parents, like they probably wouldn't be so into like trying to type something, but like selecting it off a screen would be a lot easier.
Yeah. And they actually have, Twitch support so that people can vote along with what they like as well. It looks like it's going to be a full featured game. And it was really funny because I saw this and I was like, man, that sounds like that game that just came out about a year ago. It was April of 2021. This game came out called What the Dub. And it was, I think we might have even talked about it just a short time during the podcast. It was the same format, except it wasn't associated with the guys from Riff Tracks in Mystery Science Theater 3000. And it was the same concept. It played this old clip from this old movie and you like put in your thing and it text to speeched it and hilarity ensued. And then I actually figured out they're the same company.
Minor detail.
It's literally the people who made What the Dub a year later now have gotten together with the people at Rift Tracks and they're releasing this game coming up. And maybe that's what's coming out in May. I don't know. Yeah, no, actually, that's what's coming out in May, not Curse the Golf. Sorry, SO, I messed up the dates there. Rift Track.
That was the last time we ever saw Brian.
Rift Track is coming out May 5th to Steam, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation, and Xbox. There's no price there. So I guess we'll just have to find out.
Probably $30.
But I'm actually excited by this. I saw a little bit of what the dub played, and it was pretty funny watching people playing it, watching people see what people came up with ideas of how to finish this movie clip in the interesting and hilarious way.
I'll tell you what, we'll host a game of the moment when Brian buys it and we can all play it.
Yes.
On stream.
Yeah. I mean,
you two that are listening and the people who are in chat. So
the game of the moment. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Somewhere around the May 5th time.
Cinco de Mayo. Well, all
Cinco de
drink
Drinko.
margaritas and eat tacos.
Well, actually, yeah, May 5th probably is a Tuesday, isn't it?
that's
No,
not,
that's a Thursday.
To chat
not much different for a normal day of Brian eating tacos.
Hey, we can switch it around.
It's a
Thursday.
Thursday.
It's fine.
Well, no, I mean, we can.
Maybe we can give it a couple of days.
Hold your
and then-
horses there, lady.
No,
We'll
I
just-
am going to try to
We'll
about
just
everything you're
have
trying
to
to say.
wait until May 10th, Tuesday, which is my birthday.
Oh, let's do it.
Sick.
If you let me
cool.
get my sentence out, lady.
That is
I
what
can't,
got our
I
attention.
can't.
As I was talking
this
over you.
week.
You know, my husband, he feels the same way you do.
This is what got our attention this week. So we appreciate all of you being here. There are no emails, but if you want to send us one, goa@sassgaming.com, or you can check out our website and submit feedback there, sassgaming.com. And for those of you who want to become a Patreon, we have made a big, exciting announcement recently on our website. But yeah, our
Exciting.
Patreon low tier has moved to $2. So if you don't want to spend $5, you can spend $2 for the lowest tier, and then the top tier right now is $5. So
You too
your name in
can
the
help
credits.
support your favorite
Yeah.
podcast for less than a
Exactly.
cup of coffee a week.
Yep, and it's you'll get the podcast edited.
month.
You'll be able to get the intermission that was in between if you're listening to this later, and you'll be able to get names in the credits at the end of the video for the podcast. So some cool perks there. Obviously, help us out too. So that's super awesome. Can't wait for you guys to join. That is pretty much it. Like I said, our campaign for Ukraine is going to be running probably for the duration. So if we hit our goal at 100 right now, we'll probably increase it just because, I mean, anything we can raise for them will be at this point will be super appreciated. So we appreciate it. Appreciate you guys for watching and hanging out as well. So until next time, you guys take it easy, and we'll see you next Thursday or Tuesday or sometime. We love you.
Bye,
Take care.
guys.
See ya.